Hi guys, welcome back to Yaya's Craft House. So I've been wanting to do a little ski cabin for a while. I found this doll at Five Below and I thought that it would be perfect. It came with the skis and the boots. Yeah, so let's open her and have a look. So her face screening is pretty shiny. Also her hair is very thin. Her jacket and her outfit, they all feel kind of cheap. I'm gonna use them anyway, but I mainly bought this doll because I wanted the skis and the boots and also the little earmuffs and the ski pass. The backdrop I have back there, I painted it with just some acrylic paint. I did that in one of my short videos on one of the Advent days, and I did it for the intention of using it in this video. I took 2 pieces of foam board and measured over 21 inches and then cut the end off. And then I kind of pieced them together in a triangle shape. And then I was able to trace out how big my floor needed to be. Apparently my measurements weren't exact. I did have some overhang on the side. Next, I took this wood grain scrapbook paper and I covered the floor and I covered both walls with it as well. I know here it looks really bumpy, but as it dries it does settle down and it looks a lot better, I think. On the back wall, I wanted a huge window. I wanted to be able to see out into the snow and people skiing by. So I measured and cut a wall for the back that is about 6 inches high. And then the rest of the opening is all going to be windows. To frame out the windows, I just cut strips of foam board and I glued one from the top down in the middle for the main one, and then I did one horizontally as well. Then I gave the exterior a coat of brown paint. Then I took some more strips of foam board and painted them brown and glued them around the edges inside the cabin. Because my measurements weren't exact, there were some gaps, and I think it cleaned it up a lot to kind of put the trim down around the edges. So I debated between a fireplace and a little wood burning stove. I really like the look of the little potbelly stoves. I think, is that what they're called? I don't know. They're open in the front and they're kind of rounded shape. I kind of drew a pattern on some scrapbook paper and then I traced it onto some paperboard. My 2 pieces are roughly the same size. The first one is just cut with an arched opening in the front. This is me trying to figure out how they're gonna piece together. It was kind of hard to film and glue them, so I did glue them off camera. So this is the shape that I came up with. I then wanted like a pipe coming out the top of it. So I took some white scrapbook paper and just rolled it up and hot glued it so it would stay, and then glued it into the top. Once I had the pipe glued into the top, I then gave it a coat of blue paint. And then for the inside of the stove, I wanted it to be black, so I just used some black paint and painted it. For the base of the stove, I just set it on some more paperboard and traced it out. And then I painted the base black and then glued them together. For the very bottom of the stove, I just took a little scrap of the rolled up scrapbook paper tube and painted it black and glued it on the bottom. Here it is after I glued it in place. I did have to end up moving this because the couch that I built for the space was a little too big. I had the idea that I wanted a really cute exterior, so I decided to add shingles to one side. I just cut up some paperboard into strips and then I cut them into little pieces. And this literally took forever. It took me an hour to do like 5 rows, but literally I worked on it for 2 different nights. I worked on it, and I mean, it looks really good now, but it was a job. After they were all glued on, I gave them a coat of the same brown paint that I used on the back side of the cabin. I love the way it looks. It looks aged, and I just think it turned out really good. Will I ever do it again? No, but it looks good on this project. I needed a little couch or sectional for the cabin, so I drew out a little L-shaped couch on a piece of foam board and cut it out. Then I cut out 4 pieces of foam board to use for the armrest, the inside and the outside piece. And then I went back and cut out thinner strips for the top, front, and back. And I glued them all together. Then I cut out another piece of foam board for the back of the couch. I had this caramel colored leather and I took it and measured out the armchair part of it. I covered one side, then the other, and then I cut a strip for the top, the front, and the back, all one long strip. And I used hot glue to attach them, but I was very careful to make sure all of the little edge pieces were very, very attached so that it would all sit kind of nice and neat and flush together. I knew going in that I was not going to have enough of this color of the leather to cover all the cushions and everything, and I debated on what to do. My Hobby Lobby was out of this color at the time. So what I ended up doing is the darker leather, I used the back side of it, which I thought was a pretty good match to this color, and I used the lighter felt for the bottom of the cushions. So I started cutting out the patterns. I just kind of laid the material on the couch and cut it out. You could see the white under the cushions. So I just used some scraps I had and covered back a little further and then in between the cushions. I used these little Dollar Tree beads for the feet. I think I used 7 of them. Here's where I realized the couch would not fit unless I moved the stove, so I just moved it over kind of more in the middle of the couch. I stole some little accessories from other rooms, like a little blanket and a rug. And I took this little table from my main doll room. I found this cute little flock tree at Hobby Lobby, and I thought it was perfect for the space. I did add some little fairy lights to it. And then I brought in this little wooden box on the side, and I just kind of made like a little coffee bar out of it. I really love this room, and it just looks so cozy, and it makes me just want to crawl inside of it and sit in front of the fire. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up below and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you back here soon.